Now are you able to chat?
Perfect. Thank you, students. I think somebody shared the link over here. Nikhilesh, hope you are able to do it now. Okay, so that will be going on parallelly. Yeah. As said, I'm open for the group, and if the whole intention of AIR office is that I want maximum number of students, whoever is interested in pursuing their higher education abroad should fulfill their dreams and aspirations. And IR office wants to stand with it and support you to the best maximum possible extent. So that is the reason I have floated this data sheet or a Google form recently this morning, so that I get some holistic information. In case if you think that you need to share anything else with the IR office that is not listed in the Google form, you can definitely add in the other suggestions, or you can definitely write to us at ir.helpdesk@srmap.edu.in. Okay. And regarding the other suggestion that the student wanted or said, that is a good idea. I'm open to it, but I need student support. Let us have somebody from a couple of students from the final year and a couple of students from pre-final years. Whoever is interested across departments. I'm not talking only about BTech, not only about CSC. For me, every student is important and every student's aspiration is important. So be it even from BA, BSc, MBA, BBA, BTech, any program, whoever is interested in higher education, we have to support and we will do whatever is needed. So kindly come up with such kind of a group and let us do a closed internal and fast process to speeden up it. Okay.
Ma'am, I have a small note, ma'am.
Yeah.
Madam, as earlier said, we have some collaboration international universities, like number of collaboration international universities. I'm passing out from 2022 batch. And is there any benefits from the universities which we have international collaborations, ma'am? Is there an advantage for the student from SRM University?
Yes, we have a lot of opportunities. Like for example, if you are being, if we have a collaboration, say for example, I don't know if students have received this notification for SAP program with UC Davis, IIT Chicago, University of Wisconsin, and this the final year students have given a different opportunity as well with the Harvard Medical Labs. So definitely this is just because of the collaborations, or else if you have to do a semester in UC Davis or maybe in some of these universities, do you think we can do it just like that without a collaboration? It is just because of the universities trying to do that, we have this opportunity. And if this question is regarding support, matlab, with regard to financial support, no, SAP programs don't offer financial support. Giving an opportunity to the students without writing your GRE, TOEFL, SOP, no application fees, nothing. You can straight just go and do your full one semester in the United States or any other state or any other country. Because of our collaboration by itself is a huge opportunity and support which the university is giving. So it is not feasible, it is not workable that university can help every student or n number of students all the time with some kind of financial support, especially for the SAP programs or other international programs. So that is not something workable or viable. Apart from that, any other support? Yes, we help you with your SOPs, with your LORs, with your university selection. And we have now signed up this MOUs with Jamboree, Grad Square, and other people who will help you with your classes, with your coaching, with lot of other information, be it anything else, how to apply, how to package your stuff, how do you ensure that you apply or you get that admission into that university. All this kind of help and support will always be there from the university and from the IR office.
It's very good to listen to all this. Just wanted to confirm, like, is there no any kind of scholarship or financial support for SAP programs?
That is what I was mentioning, Nikhil. That financial support for SAP programs is not feasible. It is something that university cannot offer, or I don't know how to say it. We don't have it right now.
Are there any SAP programs or project exchange programs with the German universities from your end?
Yes, we are working on that, and very soon we will be establishing some very good collaborations with German universities, some Turkish universities, because Turkey, Istanbul is a beautiful place. They have some very good programs, especially the Erasmus Mundus programs, wherein there are good scholarships for masters. Once you finish one semester abroad, there are some very good universities. There are some universities in Singapore and Australia. So we are kind of trying to bring in diverse segments and diverse countries, not just focusing on one particular area or one particular just United States. So this is happening, and very soon, I'm sure and confident that they will be open up to you all.
Is there any kind of SAP or else any kind of project exchange, like how Nikhilesh was said, with countries like Korea or Japan or?
Yes. With respect to Korea, I'm working on it, and I have a couple of them in pipeline. With respect to Japan, I'm sure that there are some Japanese language training that is going on. I don't know how many students are enrolled into it. The only problem or only concern with Japan is that you need to know Japanese. So if somebody is very keen on Japan, I would request you all or suggest you all that please enroll into these Japanese language program classes. Try to learn, and because there are a lot of opportunities with Japan, and SRM has very wonderful, brilliant tie-ups with Japan. The opportunities are immense. The only thing is that students, you all, whoever is interested in pursuing any kind of opportunity with Japan, language is a kind of must. You need to know Japanese.
Do you have any details about the course that SRM is offering for the Japanese language? Any ideas about that?
Yes, they are offering.
Yeah, I mean, any kind of resources that we can get so that we can at least enroll into that course.
Okay, sure. I'll share that information, and you'll get it from the IR office soon about the language, about Japanese. We are right now offering Mandarin and Chinese and Japanese, and very soon we will be starting up in many other language programs, especially German, Polish, because we are establishing good amount of tie-ups with Germany and other European countries. So students who are in, because Germany offers lot of scholarships and they have lot of free tuition waivered master's programs. So I was thinking that we should be availing those kind of opportunities also for whoever is interested in higher education abroad. So very soon we will be starting these centers of excellence. That's in the roadmap that I have, that I was planning for. And the management is very keen and very supportive that we should be having it, and we are working on it. With respect to the Chinese, Mandarin, Japanese, these are already in place. And this information, I can get it shared very soon, at the earliest possible. Any other questions?
When can we expect the updated list of all universities country-wise?
Okay, 1 second. Just I'll share some documents or links here in the chat box. Let me know if that helps you all as we speak. You can move on to the next question. I'll put the list on the chat box.
Ma'am, just to confirm, we still have the on-spot admission with IIT Chicago, right? In January or February?
For the SAP?
No, for MS.
On spot.
Yeah, our seniors had it, and even earlier Sunil sir has confirmed it. That yeah, on-spot admissions with IIT Chicago in the month of January or February.
Oh, okay. Let me confirm that. Then I'm not aware of this. I'll double confirm and then I'll share the same with you. I don't have the right information on this. I'll get back to you on this. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, I shared the WhatsApp group link in the chat. Will you please join?
Achha, 1 second. Huh? Okay, these are some of the links which will help you to select the universities with respect to the latest rankings, with respect to the program, with respect to department, with respect to countries, whatever kind of information or rankings you want, you can play around, just change the filters and you'll get it. It is updated one so that you don't have to wait for if the list has changed, if this rankings are changed, nothing will be there. You can do it. Please confirm. Yes, this I will be, I'll do it. I have taken a note of it and I'm looking for the WhatsApp group.
And ma'am, the President's Higher Studies Scholarship is only for QS World Ranking, or which ranking do you
QS
check?
25, yes, QS 25 rankings.
The world ranking or the department ranking?
I think it's the world ranking, QS 25.
Okay.
Okay, what I'll do is I'm leaving my number here. You can directly add me onto it, onto the WhatsApp group.
Yes, ma'am, doing it.
Any other questions, students? Okay, how to get an LOR and what is the process? Students, this is a very important thing. I have received a lot of queries and concerns about LOR. I myself wanted to discuss about this at the end of the session if nobody raises it. LOR is a very key aspect of your international application package. It has to be very customized. It cannot be a general Control-C, Control-V type of LOR. Please try to understand all the class students, all the batchmates, everybody cannot get the same LOR. It has to be very specific. Like for example, Teja, Swaraj, Ramamurthy, I don't know, there are some students. Imagine if all of them have an LOR saying Ramamurthy is a good student. He has been enrolled in so-and-so. He has performed very well and I'm very happy with him. And just the names change and the same LOR circulates. And I am sure if there are 100 students who are applying from SRM AP, at least there might be a set of overlapping of the universities, which maybe 20, 30 students might have chosen the same universities. And SRM AP may say, agar all the students, whoever applications are there, if the LOR reads the same, how bad does that look? Your LORs have to be customized. They have to be given by the professors or by the teachers or by your internship supervisors, if you had any internship opportunity, very specifically written. Like for example, Sweta, she's so-and-so, she has worked on so-and-so project. During this project, her task was to accomplish so-and-so things. On this, she has done a fairly so-and-so type of job, good, bad, satisfactory, or extraordinary, whatever it is. The outcomes of this project were so-and-so. During her academics or in class performance, her performance was like this. She was an outgoing student, or she was an introvert, or she was an extrovert, whatever it is. It has to be very specific, addressing to your qualities, addressing your skills, your capabilities and abilities. Don't make it a Control-C, Control-V type of LOR, downloading sample LORs in the Google, taking it, asking your professor to just sign it. Sit with them, discuss. If you are doing your masters, I'm sure across 8 semesters, there must be 2 or 3 professors with whom you had a very good connection, wherein like you felt that yes, this teacher is something really nice, very good, he mentored me very well. Maybe everybody will have that kind of an guru, or that kind of a mentor, or that kind of a godly figure during their education times. So identify those 1 or 2 people who know you very well, who can give you, who can identify you, and who can write or customize an LOR specifically for you, a tailor-made LOR. Ensure that you do that. LOR, SOP, please don't do copy-paste job. It is a request, it is a suggestion, both. In case you do that, you decrease your opportunity of getting selected by at least 20 to 25%. Whoever thinks that international education is just because of your academics, that you get a 9-pointer or above, or if you get a GRE score of 320 and above, please let me tell you that that is just 30 or 40%. 60 or 50% is based upon your profile. How good is your profile? What have you done so far in your 20 years of your life? Okay, ignore the first 12 years or 14 years. What have you done in the last 6 to 8 years? How did you build your career, especially in the last 4 years, to be very precisely? Even if you want to ignore until 12th class, what did you do in your undergraduation, that 4 years wherein you're almost an adult, because you must be having enough clarity on what to do next? How did you build your profile? How active were you in the university? What kind of outreach activities did you participate in? What is the kind of community service you have done? What is the kind of knowledge you have in different segments? How good are you in some kind of a sport or some kind of a skill, which probably your friend or your classmate is not? Why should some good university pick Sweta and ignore all the other 100,000 applications that they get? Do you think Stanford will get only Sweta's application? Harvard will get only Sweta's application? MIT should give scholarship only to Sweta? Then why? Why should they pick me? I should have something extraordinary. 9 GPAs, everybody has these days. I'm sure you must be knowing, if not everybody, there is a good amount or good percentage of students who have a CGPA of above 8.5, above 9 also. It is not a differential factor anymore. Yes, it definitely adds points. It definitely enhances your technical skills and shows that you had been through the subject thoroughly. And that is how your academic score is good. You have scored good in your internals, your exams, your project, or whatever it is. But how does that make Sweta a good person, a good profile, that wherein MIT family can accept her, give her a scholarship, tell that tomorrow Sweta is an alumni of MIT, because I will carry that flag all through my life. Everywhere I go, I will be called as an MIT passed out. So MIT picks and chooses. They don't take decisions just like, chalo, theek hai. Her score is 9.5, let us take. No. It is very important to ensure that if you have such kind of aspirations, if you're aiming for the stars, then you have to build your profile like a star. You should ensure that you are an all-rounder. Your SOPs should substantially give that kind of an strength in that document saying that, yes, this is what I am. I had been building my profile to ensure that this is where I have to be. I want to be a student of MIT of so-and-so program because MIT has been doing that, this, blah, 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 that anyways you will write. But MIT is anyways doing it for the past many years and centuries. But why should they have Sweta to do? They have millions of people across the world who can do it. Why should they pick only me and not and ignore the rest of the other lot? That is where I have to ensure that I write it very carefully, build my profile, ensure my scores are good, my application packet is first come, first serve, be it before time or on time, but not wait until the last minute, especially your LORs and SOPs. They have to be extensively customized, specifically what Sweta is and why does she deserve a seat or an admission or an I-20 from MIT. It has to be that narrowly done. So please don't take things for granted, especially if you're aiming for these top QS 50 or something ranking universities. The rest of the universities also, the same law applies. Nothing is different. That doesn't mean any university in America is okay with me, so let me copy my friend's SOP or friend's LOR. Don't do that. Maybe any university in America, okay, theek hai. But if you do a good job, maybe that university will give you full funding. Maybe they get impressed by your profile, your application, your seriousness, and maybe you don't have to pay anything to them. That's a huge thing. Getting scholarship and doing your entire master's program with a scholarship is something that you will cherish all through your life, not just with respect to the savings, but with respect to the regards and rewards, the kind of accomplishment you will have as a person. So LOR is very important, dear students. Don't take it from anybody and everybody. Don't walk into me saying that, ma'am, you are from US, you know that, you write this, you're anyways our international day. No, they will just tear that in front of me and throw it in the dustbin. Approach your teachers, your professors who know you very well, who have taught you for a semester or two, or maybe you have worked on a project with them, or whatever it is, so that they can explain, they can write, they can talk about you in detail. That is very important, dear students. And I think there were some questions in the Google form that I have received that there is a delay in the LOR process. And I really, because that was a very generic thing that you have given me in the Google Doc. If you can specifically write it to the help desk email address, your name, whom have you submitted your LOR request to, and who is the name of the professor, what I meant is, so that I can follow it up and I can probably push it fast. Because if you just say that my LOR is pending, I really don't know where you have sent that LOR and to whom you have sent it, at what date. In that, even please mention by when do you want it, so that my office can pursue it and get it done.
Ma'am, can you arrange any webinar or information sessions on how to write SOP, how to draft resume for higher studies?
Done, sure. Let us do it very soon. Maybe.
And a similar thing for faculties on the guidelines to write LOR, because we'll only be giving them first draft and they have to ultimately write the LOR, right?
Done. Okay, I'll arrange one special interaction session with the faculty through the international office, and I'll definitely schedule one SOP writing session. I'll streamline the topics accordingly, and over the next 4 or 5 weeks, let us cover extensively these discussions, and I'll ensure that your issues are addressed.
And the LOR drafting for faculties.
Yeah. I told that.
Yes.
We will have an interaction session with the faculty, wherein the IR office will brief them and help them to understand. And we'll also share what are the critical points, and that will be taken care.
Thank you.
Ma'am, after this SOP session, if possible, can you try to, organize some sessions, some special drive like verifying our SOPs, like, can we make it, or is it up to the mark?
When I said that,
because,
I'm sorry to interrupt. You can go ahead.
Means because you'll just give inputs, ma'am, but ultimate thing is we should make it better, right? After making that, if you give some feedback or if you give some even more, better suggestions, we can make it better. So this would be better, I guess.
Agree. So students, when I said this webinar for SOP thing, during that time before the session, we will be forming a very core committee or a core team of faculty or maybe somebody internal, external, whatever is possible, who will be working closely with your SOPs and who will proofread your LORs also for that matter. And we'll ensure that that is done in a fast track, in fact, very fast track pace, so that that is addressed as soon as possible. And again, remember, when I say the team will help, they don't write your SOPs. SOP, you have to write it. We will help you and give you remarks, but we cannot write it for you. You are the best person to write about yourself, how much ever anybody knows anyone, be it your best of the friend, be it your family, your mother, your father, but nobody can express your intentions, your ambitions, your aspirations in the best possible way than you. So don't rely on anybody. Don't hire any writers. Don't tell them, I want this, I want that. You write it for me. Don't do that. You write it for yourself. If you have done mistakes, the team will tell, please change this. The team will tell, correct it. It can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 revisions, but let you put in your thoughts and your dreams into it. Don't involve somebody else to write it for you. Okay. Any other questions?
Coming back to the list of universities in SAP, you said there are a lot of other universities that are not presently mentioned in the list. So
that is what I said. That is what I said. In case you don't have that information, IR office will share that in the next couple of days.
Right, ma'am. So the last day for registration of SAP is 30th September.
You're in which year?
I'm in my 3rd year right now. So 3-1.
So you must have received the notification for IIT Chicago and all these.
Right, ma'am. There are 3 universities that are open for SAPs right now, but they said there are a lot more universities that are coming up.
We are working on the other universities also. Those universities we still have time, because those SAP programs might start little late, maybe after February or March or so. So that will take some time. We are releasing the notification based upon the time frame. Like for example, these programs with UC Davis and all, they will start somewhere mid-January. For that, we need at least 3 months time. Some program which might start in March, I don't think I will release a notification in October for that. We might do that in late November or December or something. But still, very soon, what we will do is we will come up with a list of universities for which there is a chance of opening up the SAP program, so that you can have it in mind, and probably you will kind of gauge yourself which and what suits you and what doesn't.
That is my question. So it's not only like US or Australia or UK or Germany kind of universities that we have. Coming back to the old question that I asked, so we have universities from Japan and South Korea or Singapore, these kind of countries as well, right? In the list that we might have an SAP this year.
Yes, we might have, but I don't want to promise it unless it is 100% done. So once it is 100% done, it will be anyways opened up to students itself. So give me some time so that it is all done and official. I'll definitely share it with you. But yes, as said, we are working extensively to expand to each and every best possible country. And we will be having a lot of avenues apart from the traditional highly sought of universities or highly sought of countries.
Ma'am, financial help for only the SAP students or also for the master's students also, ma'am?
I already answered this question. There is no financial support for SAP programs. SAP program by itself is a huge support and a huge platform that the university is giving to the students. Without your GRE, TOEFL, application, SOP, LOR, nothing. You can go and pursue your 1 semester abroad without all this competition. So that itself is a huge opportunity, and for which we are working very, very hard. So scholarship at this point of time for SAPs is not there.
Then what about the masters, ma'am? Is there any financial help from someone?
Masters, we are helping you so much, dear student, that so that you get into the best school and you get scholarships. That is why we are working so hard. And there is a president scholarship for QS 25 admissions. Apart from that, no, we don't have any scholarships for anything else.
Ma'am, can you brief us about the early bird offer for this coming fall semester, and what is the optimum time to submit our whole applications to benefit from this offer?
Early bird offer is as such no offer. It is just that we keep a track about the universities. Like for example, you must have had some universities in mind. Always ensure that you have a list of at least you have a list of 10 to 12 universities. Don't make just 6 universities or 5 universities list. Make a list of 10 to 12 universities. Out of that, you can shortlist 6 or 8 universities for applications. And so when you are closely monitoring these universities, usually all these universities have their predetermined dates. They must have already listed when they start their applications for August 2022. So when they say that applications start, say for example, in February or March, they must have started in February or March usually, and they close by May or something. Maximum by May 30th or June 1st is what they close, 2 or 3 months before. So once they open up in February, ensure that you send your application sometime by March or maximum by April. Don't wait till May, June, just thinking that, oh, we still have 1 month's time, we still have 1.5 months time. Don't do that. When I said early first come, first serve or early bird offer, that is what it meant, because if your application reaches well ahead of time, well packaged, good scores, there are high chances that when it moves to the department, if that particular professor has some funds or some kind of a project, and if say, for example, Teja has some good academic and some good profile, he might think, oh, let Teja come in and I might give him some RA or a TA or some partial funding or some kind of an help. So that is the reason. Once you move on to bilkul end of the application process, it will be in the admissions department, then it will go to the graduate school, then it will come to the department. By the time, maybe the professor or department must have already taken a decision with respect to funding and scholarship. Maybe you'll get an admission. I'm not worried about the admission only. Maybe you'll get an admission and an I-20, you'll get a visa, you'll go to United States. I am worried about, or I am concerned about, if you apply first in the first lot, maybe there will be chances of getting some 20%, 30%, sometimes 100% scholarship as well, depending upon how good your profile is, how good your so many other factors that each university considers. And the factors can differ from university to university. But generally, what they see as an overview is definitely what I said: your ACADS, your GRE, TOEFL, IELTS scores, your SOP, your LOR, your application package, your time of application, and the way you have built your profile over a period of time, because you must have made some career conscious decisions, and that will be reflecting on your resume. So these kind of things is what they will look for. And if it is something impressive, who does not want a good student? Everybody in the world knows that Indian students are very hardworking. They're very smart. They're technically strong. They work overnight. They can work on a Sunday and a Saturday where the entire world is shut. Indians can work. There are a lot of things that Indian students do and Indian students can offer. Or else we don't have so many CEOs and CFOs from India. This is the only reason why, because we are extraordinarily hardworking. We are very talented. We have that smart brains. But only thing is we wait everything for the last minute. We are not really good with time management and stuff. So let us do that. Let us don't wait till the last time. Let us do things on time. Let us be professional. Let us approach things the way they have to be approached.
Thank you.
Ma'am, continue.
Ma'am, is this I-20 related to, I mean, our SRM college? Is this something you give, or we have to get somewhere else?
I-20?
I-20 certificate, something you mentioned, right, ma'am?
I-20 is the admission letter, beta. Jo admission letter is given from the university, right? So that is called an I-20 usually. People, students understand Telugu here?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Perfect. So ఇప్పుడు మీరు US కి అప్లై చేశారనుకోండి, ఒక అడ్మిషన్ లెటర్ వస్తుంది కదా అక్కడి నుంచి, that you have been admitted. That particular letter is called an I-20.
Okay, this is అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇది US అంటే మనం అప్లై చేసే కాలేజ్ కి రిలేటెడ్.
Any college, usually that is the term that they use.
Okay.
Any college,
there is nothing to do with
usually
SRM,
called as
right?
I-20.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you brief about this presidential scholarship fund, something we just spoke now?
Presidential scholarship is for the students who have been admitted into master's program in the top QS 25 ranking universities.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah. How do we get this? I mean, if I get admission from one of the colleges,
you will show me the admission letter or the I-20 offer, right? And once you submit, the scholarship will be given to you.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, thank you.
That's the top 25 of the world, or is top 25 of US specific?
Top 25 QS ranking.
You said QS or US?
QS.
Okay, yeah. It means the world ranking. Okay. I remember to get the physical academic transcripts, can we just ask in the SRM reception and get it, or is there any other procedure?
You can contact the dean academics or the academic office and the controller of examination. They will help you.
For the physical, for the hard copy of academic transcripts.
Yeah, because they have to be sent to the university, right?
Okay. You are saying the sealed transcript they are sent to the direct university.
Yeah, whatever kind of thing. If you want a sealed transcript or if you want something for yourself, the controller of exams office and the academic affairs office will help you with it.
Okay.
So, ma'am, right now I am from the EC major, ma'am. If I want to shift the major as the CS of the masters, what are the particular university what I am going to masters? What are the precautions to take to my application is approved or not to the admission to the CS background?
I'm sorry, Teja. Actually, your voice was not very clear to me. I understood that you're from ECE and you want to change your major. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. And what are the precautions we have to take? Particular university.
See, if you are from ECE and if you want to do a master's in civil, maybe that cannot be justified, to be very honest. But if you are from ECE and if you want to do something with respect to computer science or something with respect to electrical or something like that, which more or less is kind of similar, you can justify saying that you have taken so many courses or you did a minor or you did an internship in this. That is why you have made up your mind to switch. Something should be strong enough. You can't say that I did my undergraduation in ECE, now I want to do something in mechanical. You can't do that from here. Sometimes you can do that after going there. You can probably convince, or maybe you can take some extra courses if the university gives you that flexibility, and you can do something in altogether a different discipline. But from here, I would advise don't do such kind of crazy transformations from ECE to civil or from civil to computer science, these kind of things. Yahan se make it as smooth and as straightforward as possible. If it is something close by, as I said, ECE to electrical or ECE to computer science, wherein you can justify that you have covered most of these courses, we had some minors, you did some good internship or whatever it is, it's fine. But if it is a huge difference, lot of other courses, and you can't justify yourself, then how do you think somebody sitting there so many miles away will understand your skills and give you an admission in altogether an alien discipline? That is not possible.
Okay.
Any other questions? In case you have any other questions, please write to the help desk, or else since the WhatsApp group is now formed, I think it is much more easier, but still we will again have every week one personal interaction as an platform, so that other students can also listen, and probably if somebody is hesitating to ask a question, still their questions will be answered directly or indirectly. So we will anyways interact every week. And if there is something very important, you can write to me at that email address, or now that the WhatsApp group is formed, you can even message over there. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And remember, there's a thing called WES grade conversion.
Right.
Its charges are $200 to convert from 10 CGPA to US 4 CGPA. Can SRM try to arrange any deal with them for a bulk students or anything?
No, we can't do such kind of things. They are a completely different entity, so we can't do that.
Okay, fine, no problem.
Yeah. Any other questions, students? Okay, so we'll meet again next week. IR office will send you a notification about the upcoming sessions and webinars. The points are well taken. We will definitely Arbaddu Lopatkelandi. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The points are being well taken. The first thing is that SOP interaction session and guidance, and LOR guidance or this thing to the students as well, and the faculty, and exclusive groups that has already been formed, and the links for the universities has been shared as requested, and for GATE classes,
and
I think somebody asked me.
Along with SOP, the resume also.
Yeah, that will be taken care. And the GATE classes thing was also taken, and the schedule for the same will be shared. The list of MOUs that SRM has, that will be shared, and upcoming SAP programs will also be shared. It might take little time, but it will be shared. And whoever has applied for SAP program for the 3 universities that are opened up, I request you all to submit your resumes as well. Some students have not submitted their resume. So if without that, complete the entire process as the portal asks for. And yeah, that's it from my side.
While you're trying for collaboration for SAP, can you try for any abroad internship for current final years also?
Yes, we are working on that. From I'm not for this the graduating batch. We're definitely trying, and I think there was an information shared with for Harvard Medical School.
Yes, but that was only that had only medical.
No, not only medical. There is for chemistry. There is biochemistry. There is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from computer science department.
Yeah, I think with computer science also there are some opportunities. If you had gone through that complete email, there are some opportunities with data science, AI also. Please go through that once again. And in case you do not find the information that you're looking for, you can shoot me an email as an reply to that. I'll share the information with you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay then. So I'll wrap it up for now. You all have a happy Sunday. And in case you have any other questions, write down to me. And I wish you all the best. I hope this time we send many more students and you get out of SRM with flying colors. Yes?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Bye. Good night.
Can I end the webinar?
Yes, you can end it. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.